Hola a todos, bienvenidos de regreso a Dankerverse Impact. El día de hoy toca una nueva legendaria, toca la de Del Gia. Y ya estamos en las rectas finales de la segunda temporada, ¿no? Del Dankerverse, ¿no? Era la legendaria, era acá creo, ¿no? De mundo, encargos, legendaria, aquí está. Era esta de acá. Vamos a hacer esta. Vamos a hacer todo lo posible para terminarla hoy. Mañana tocaría hacer la misión legendaria con Ceritox, la de Baizo. Así que tocaría ver si la puedo hacer con él. Si no, hago la de Joymilla y da igual. Ya el lunes de por sí ya debería estar cerrada esta temporada. Y básicamente ahora cuando recargue el teléfono ya resubo 3 directos de una ya, de una para avanzar esto, ¿no? Bien, hay que tener cuidado. Yo lo tengo. He enfrentado muchos peligros. No te preocupes. Por supuesto que sí. Es sencillo para mí.
I'm not worried about that. What I meant is that we probably shouldn't go too hard on the enemy. After all, we still need to get information out of them. Ah, here they come. You ready? Let's not give them a chance to react and end this quickly.
Ja, no tardaremos mucho. Vamos por ellos. Shigai. No me hagan reír, ¿es todo lo que tienen? Así que si mezclo fuego, rayo y trueno, puedo obtener unos espadazos de mucha más potencia de Hayato, ¿eh? Me agrada. Así que Toshiro adulto puede incrementar más su poder todavía. Muy bien, empieza a hablar, desgraciado. La guerrera antigua.
Good. That saves me an introduction. All right, time for a little talk. Are you buddies with Takana Lakmar now? Tell me, what are they after?
You know the code of being a mercenary just like everyone else. The first rule is to never divulge key information about our employer. What makes you think I talk?
Tiene un punto el random, ¿eh?
That might have worked on an amateur, but I know you're just looking to protect your reputation. Think about it, though. What's your reputation worth if you won't have the other tools you need to succeed in this line of work? Tools like, I don't know, your limbs or eyes? You've got 5 seconds. You might want to think twice about how much your employer's information is worth to you.
Whoa! Oye, ella sabe lo que hace, no te preocupes.
I'm not joking around. We can do this the easy way or the painful way. 2 seconds.
I'll save you the trouble.
¿Qué hizo?
Are you crazy? He tried to bite off his own tongue. Quick, search the area for any first aid supplies. I definitely didn't expect him to go that far. Thankfully, the wound wasn't too deep, and he just passed out from the pain.
But why would he be so extreme?
I just wanted to test his mettle. You can get a lot of mercenaries to talk just by threatening them. I didn't expect him to be willing to go through so much pain just to deny us some intel.
Well, he's out cold for now. We could wait for him to wake up, but maybe it's not a good idea to interrogate him any further.
Yeah, don't worry about it. It'll be a waste of time to interrogate him again after that. There are lots of goods around here. Let's search the area. Maybe we'll be able to find something. I'm really sorry.
Bueno, técnicamente yo sí lo hubiera hecho pedazos de ella. Bien, los 3 puntos, bla, bla, bla. ¿Mm? ¿Qué es esto? Tiene que ser aquí. ¿Mm?
We found a piece of paper with a bunch of names on it. Maybe it's a record of something.
Let me take a look. If this really is a merchant caravan, they should have a record of their transactions. Yep, I see an entry for Dakana Lakmar right here. Kusela, Idrisi, Bashar, and Takriti.
Esos nombres me suenan muy familiares.
All familiar names. Dakana Lakmar has been trading for a hefty supply of food, weapons, and medicine. It seems that in the past, they used to receive some canned knowledge as well. This caravan is just one link in their logistics chain. Once in the rainforest, the caravan will exchange the looted goods for Mora, and the funds will then be passed to a specific person. That person will then pack the caravan full of necessary goods, which will then be brought right back to Dakana Lakmar. Wait, why is there no Mora value recorded for the final transaction?
No value?
Yeah, every transaction before the last one was marked with an exact amount of Mora, but the final one, where they paid for everything to be brought back to the desert, was simply marked as delivered.
Tal vez no hubo ninguna diferencia. Por eso no anotaron nada.
Perhaps, but they couldn't have known how much they would make off selling the loot. Do they not care about profit margins at all? Anyway, the next part's the records of the goods themselves. There are a lot of entries. Everything was probably sourced from the rainforest. Huh?
What's wrong?
Shazamon Homayani?
Homoyani? You mean Dunyarzad's family? Could it just be another family with the same last name?
Aquí hay gato encerrado. Hay que averiguar qué pasa.
I'd be surprised to find someone with the exact same first and last name. Shazamon Homayani is Dunyarzad's father, and the head of the Homayani family. Just what the heck is going on here?
Pensemos en todas las posibilidades primero. No te alteres.
I'm sorry. You're right. I'll consider what we found and not jump to conclusions just yet. But what this piece of paper confirms is that the Homayani family has been providing goods to Dakana Lakmar.
What if the Homayanis have been kept in the dark and don't know they've been trading with Dakana Akhmar?
That's a possibility. But if that was the case, why is this caravan specifically named Shazamon as their person of contact? They could have just as easily bought goods such as food and medicine directly from Caravan Rebat or Port Ormos.
Siento que tenían todo eso planeado desde el inicio.
Yeah, funding violence and looting. The brigade gets the goods, and he is paid the proceeds from the sale of the loot.
But why would he do something like this? It's not like the Homayanis are in need of money.
Puede que no sea así. Hay que averiguar qué está pasando aquí.
I honestly have no idea. I've been to their estate many times, and I've never noticed anything suspicious. The only potentially large expenditure I could think of would be the treatment costs for Dunyarzad's Elazar. Maybe they borrowed a lot of Mora in the past? But that's still just a speculation. I don't think the master would stoop so low to make Mora.
Será mejor no decirle nada a la chica. Podría alterarse mucho.
You're probably right. I know my lady's personality, and she wouldn't deliberately keep something like this from us.
But what should we do now? All we found is just another mystery.
Bien, hay que llegar al fondo de esto. Y al que moleste mucho, patearle el trasero. Sencillo.
If you ask me, we already have... I'm not worried. It's too early to make a verdict yet. I still have faith in the Homayanis. Let's go find my lady again. We'll tell her everything and see if she's willing to lend us her support. If we're lucky, we can not only figure out the mystery of this paper, but also follow the trail of breadcrumbs to the people responsible at Dakana Lakmar.
Esto es muy arriesgado, pero podría funcionar.
Dia, are you sure this is the best decision? What if instead of getting the help we need, we just end up revealing everything
I've considered that possibility. But even still, I want to tell her what we found. I think I owe her that much. True friendship is built on trust. She showed genuine concern for me when we first brought up the topic. I can't repay her kindness with doubt and suspicion. That's not how I deal with people.
You're right. Paimon wants to trust Dunyarzad too.
Veamos si tiene alguna información. Espero que pueda ayudarnos en todo esto. Si no, lo solucionaremos con nuestras manos y listo.
Yeah. Let's pay another visit to Sumeru City.
Bien. Supongo que hay que ir a la misión, ¿no? Pierdan a la ciudad, ¿no? ¿Dónde está? Vamos a ver. Según esto, está para acá.
We're back, my lady.
Hola, tanto tiempo. ¿Cómo estás?
Oh, you're back a lot sooner than I expected. You mustn't have run into any trouble then. Well, how did it go? What did you come up with?
Actually, we are still investigating. It's just that we've discovered something strange.
I see. The clues you found have led you back here, in the city?
Something like that.
You all look a little dispirited. Whatever you found must not have been very encouraging after all. Why don't you discuss it with me? Maybe I'll be able to say something to cheer you up?
It's okay, my lady. It's not so much about me being upset with my father or anything like that. How should I put this?
So something is wrong. Even the Traveler and Paimon have been uncharacteristically quiet. On any other day, Paimon would have already waved to me with a smile and shouted, "Dunyarzad, we're back!" So tell me, what happened?
Well?
My lady, please prepare yourself for what we're going to tell you next. It concerns the Master.
The Master? Okay, I understand. Don't worry about me. I'll listen as attentively as I can.
Bien.
My father has been supplying goods to Dakan al-Akmar?
Yeah, it makes as little sense to us as it does to you. I've never doubted the Master's integrity, so I'm having a real hard time rationalizing how he could ever support an infamous brigade like them. Maybe he's not actually aware of the full story and just stumbled into the deal by accident.
No parece que esa sea una posibilidad.
I can't help but agree with the Traveler.
Huh? You mean you feel the same way, Dunyarzad?
Thank you for sharing all. Since you've told me everything you know, I should also tell you about some doubt in the past. I thought that my father hired a bodyguard for me, so... However, there are plenty of capable mercenaries in the Corps of 30.
About that. Well, the Homayanis really needed bodyguards, so they reached out to the Blazing Beasts. Later, the Master told me that I was one of the best mercenaries he'd ever seen, and that I should stick around to become one of his bodyguards. He offered me a pile of Mora, so I just signed on.
Well, but that didn't really answer my question. Just think about it.
Maybe the Corps of 30 just didn't have anyone available, or maybe someone recommended us. I've never given it too much thought. I think I get what you're saying. You'd think none of this was a coincidence.
Precisely. At first glance, nothing seems strange or out of place. But there are many parts of the story that don't actually make any sense. If my father had always been in contact with Dakan al-Akmar, then it would make sense for him to bring Dia into our house.
You mean the goal all along was to get Dia to be your...
No, that's too much of a stretch. I cut all ties with my father a long time ago. He has no control over my life anymore.
But that still doesn't rule out the possibility that your father has still been trying to influence your life without you knowing.
So, the Master was not likely an innocent victim in all of this?
Creo que esa es la posibilidad más lógica. Hay que averiguar.
Sorry we put all this on you so suddenly, Dunyarzad.
It's okay, Paimon. I should actually be thanking you. Regardless of his reasons, if my father has truly been funding a violent group of mercenaries, then it's my duty to bring him back to reason.
But is that really the right thing to do? My father has committed many atrocities and deserves all the punishment that he has coming to him. However, the Homiyani family has treated me with nothing but generosity and if we decide to investigate this further, we could end up implicating the entire...
Tia.
It's alright, Dia. If anyone were to ask, you could always just say that I'm the one.
You don't have to do that, my lady. I'm not conflicted because I'm afraid of taking responsibility. Besides, you're the one we should all be worried about right now.
Hey, it's still too early to give up hope. What was that thing about friendship again?
La amistad se basa en confianza, campanita.
Right, yeah, trust. You said that yourself, Dia. Besides, there's no point on getting all riled up before we've confirmed all the facts.
Tal vez tenga sus propios motivos que desconoces para hacer todo esto.
Thank you, everyone. That makes a lot of sense. I guess I should always remember the trust that I've placed in people. In which case, my lady, could you ask the Master to come out and have a chat with us?
Sure thing. I also hope he'll be able to give us a logical explanation.
Usual place? Ah, right.
Según esto es para acá, ¿no? Será en el mercado que tengo una idea de dónde está, el mercado subterráneo, ¿no? Ah, no, no está para allá. Está para acá. Qué raro. Bueno, aprovechemos del book, ya que estamos aquí.
Ad Astra.
Para recoger mis... Bien, consigue. Sigamos. Ya que conseguí los objetos. ¿Qué rayos? Necesito 2 niveles más para tener el deseo permanente y tirar. Ok, sigamos.
Thank you for coming, sir. Please allow me to introduce these two. This is the Traveler, and next to him is his travel companion, Paimon.
Ah, yes. My daughter has mentioned them from time to time. It's a privilege to finally meet them in person. But we may skip all the pleasantries for now. What is the important matter you wish to discuss with me today?
Well, we wanted to bring this transaction record to your attention. There's something on this record that we're all pretty curious about.
¿Tendremos que pelear? No
So
creo, ¿ah?
that's what you found. Huh. Seems like I can't keep everything from you much longer.
If you wouldn't mind, we'd like an explanation.
Well, it's a long and difficult story. And to be perfectly honest, I'm not sure if I'm doing the right thing. What I do know, though, Dia, is that the truth will bring you no solace. If any...
Wait, me?
Yes, I understand perfectly why you came to see me. And I am touched by your collective commitment to do the right thing.
Bien. Somos todo oídos.
But knowledge always comes at a price. And sometimes, as they say, ignorance is bliss. Your father, Kusela, and I both believed that. Of course, you have the right to seek and learn the truth, but I must warn you. The facts of this matter may reduce everything you've built for yourself into sand, blowing in the wind. If you must proceed, then Kusela's heartfelt efforts will also fade into the wind like a fleeting mirage.
His Heartfelt efforts. I'm sorry, sir, but I'm not sure I follow. I've made it this far in life without a single drop of my father's support. I have my own ideals and ways of looking at the world, as well as people and causes that I've chosen to cherish and fight for. I came here today to support you as the head of the Homiyani family. No warning will change my stance on that.
I understand. Then let me tell you a little story.
No
Your
empecemos con la
family once
historia.
needed to take a trip to the desert
Por
when
favor,
Dunyarzad
no.
was just a baby.
Por favor, no.
Along
Ya
the
basta de
way,
diálogos.
we
Ya
were
basta de
attacked by
diálogos.
bandits.
Ahora prepárense, son como 30 minutos de diálogo, ¿ah?
They had superior numbers and quickly overpowered our bodyguards. When all seemed lost, a group of those Eremites were Kusela's brigade, Dekan al-Ahmar. Kusela's men told me that the attackers were Eremite mercenaries, just like themselves. I was shocked. Why would Dekan al-Ahmar go so far to save us and not spare the fellow Eremites? Kusela was grinning and walked over to play with baby Dunyarzad. She was startled by his unfamiliar face and nearly started crying.
Really? I never knew.
He said that he had no particular reason to help us. He just took pity on us because he had a daughter about the same age. We started talking about our children, and I sensed that he was a devoted father. To repay his kindness, I hired his brigade to help out at our estate for a time, and offered everyone generous remuneration.
So, that's what happened.
It was many years before I saw him again. I almost didn't recognize him the next time he came knocking on my door. The man I knew to be strong and healthy had been reduced to a shell of himself. He couldn't even walk anymore without his cane.
So, what happened to him? He was perfectly fine when I left the brigade.
I'm not too sure myself. The only thing that didn't change was his cheery disposition. He said there was absolutely nothing to... He then suddenly asked me if Dunyarzad, now that she had grown, would need a bodyguard of her own. At the time, Dunyarzad was going through a particularly severe bout of her Elazar. There was no need for her to have a bodyguard when she could barely leave the house. But he kept coming back to the topic. Come on, it never hurts to be safe. How do you... I was completely lost at first, until he recommended the blazing...
So he was the one who recommended Dia to you.
Indeed. He didn't say it out loud, but it was clear that he saw Deshret's relics as an evil group who would eventually corrupt every member in their rank. He was already beyond redemption, but he hoped that he would be able to detach his daughter from the... If Dia could stay in my house and keep working as a bodyguard, then...
And that's why you offered her such...
Yes, but not just because of that. From the moment that he asked me for... And that's also why I tried to persuade you to stay when you asked for... Kusela saved my daughter and me all those years ago in the desert. I could never refuse him entrusting his daughter to me.
He was always like that, acting like he's oh so smart and self-righteous.
Kusela said that he'd reimburse me for a portion of Dia's fees. I refused. Eventually, I just accepted them as a token of his gratitude. And that went on for a while until the letter contained a request to help him by...
Wait! Isn't that around the time that the...
That's right. When I started to hear some nasty... But by then, he was no longer receptive to my requests to talk. If I had to guess, it's probably because he doesn't want to put Dia at risk.
Si ese es el caso, no debería haberte pedido ayuda, ¿no crees?
That thought occurred to me as well. After some deliberation, I decided to send him some food and met... I am aware that even such a reduced gesture of support could lead to others coming to harm, but I could not simply reject his plea for help. In the end, it probably was the wrong decision. I plugged my ears to the rumors and just chose a solution that made me...
If you can, please tell me where he is now. None of the things he's doing right now make any sense if he's just trying to keep me from getting tangled up in his world. If all he wants to do is steer clear of me, then maybe he shouldn't have brought me into this world in the first place.
Oh no. Dia, please don't feel...
I'm just angry because I can't wrap my head around any of his actions.
Tal vez deberías interpretar las cosas de una perspectiva distinta.
Another way? I don't know. I knew him and he was nothing more, but I guess you do have a point. We haven't
I'll do my best to help. Of course, anything between the two of you would need to be resolved between you and him alone. I don't know Kusela's exact whereabouts. Outside of supplying, however, there's a man on the list named Jawed. He used to be a mercenary. He's responsible for supplying weapons and liaising with the I've heard that he likes to have a few drinks alone and enjoy the cool
Understood. Thank you, sir.
I'll stay and be with my father here. To be honest, I'm still a little dazed. My father has indeed done something wrong, but if I think about it, I feel like our only course of action...
Yes. I am prepared to accept whatever. It's time to face my mistake.
Bien, nos ahorramos una pelea innecesaria con un random. Y bueno, busca Jaguar en la noche de la dama. Ok, me voy a sentar acá. Tranquilito. Y vamos a adelantar el reloj hasta la noche. Esto debe ser suficiente. Estoy haciendo acá el desgraciado.
Who are you guys?
I know what you've been up to. Smuggling weapons to violent brigades in the desert while working for the Corps. Pretty bold, if you ask me.
Shh. Keep your voice down. How do you know all that? Come with me. We should take this elsewhere. I'll be happy to talk things over once we're somewhere private.
Muy bien.
This place should do. All right. Back to my question. How did you all know about me?
Don't worry about that for now. You know what kind of punishment you'll face once we report you to the Corps, I assume.
Wait. There's no need to jump the gun. Let's talk this out. What are your terms?
So what's in it for you anyway, Mora?
Well, I was a little tight on money at the time, and Kusela took good care of me in the past. I waited in my mind, and I couldn't find a reason to turn the opportunity down. I wouldn't only be helping my benefactor, but I could also...
Let me tell you how it is. We're investigating Dakan al-Akmar, and we're gonna put an end to their operations. If you provide some help for us, then we might just put in a good word later to reduce the terms of your punishment.
Hey, why don't we discuss this a little first? Listen, I made quite a bit of more from my last run. Just give me a number, and I'm...
Shut it. My patience is running out. You should know when a mercenary is after something other than money.
All right, sheesh. But you gotta promise you'll put in some nice words for me later. They're always on the move. Here's the spot they were at the last time I made my delivery to the desert. Feel free to go have a look. I'm just telling you though, it's not on me if they're not there anymore.
Sure. And then you can forget about any nice words from us.
Hey, come on.
Really? And how do I know you're not leading us straight into a trap? Don't forget, you're the...
All right, I get it. Why don't you go take a look, and if they're not there anymore?
Now that's more like it. Let's move. And as for you,
Te
try to
mantendré
stick around the city
vigilado,
until
¿ah?
we get back. You don't want us to call the folks from the Corps and have them drag you back to the city.
Si es mentira, iremos tras de ti. Eso tenlo por seguro. Bien, en marcha. Según esto, está el punto hacia dónde. Hacia acá. A la mierda, bueno. Qué bueno que tengo a todos los 7 aquí, ¿eh? Aunque ahora pensándolo bien hubiera tirado mejor el TP de abajo, ¿eh? Creo que queda un poquito más cerca, ¿no? A ver. Bueno, aproximo a curarnos entonces. Aproximo a curarme, tira acá. Sí, era mejor el de abajo. Ay, señor. A ver. Ahí es el punto. Es ahí. Bien, está listo si es una trampa.
Seems like we're in luck. That should be their camp right up ahead. Let's go. We'll finally get to the bottom of this ourselves.
Yo te sigo.
I'm here to see Kusela. Tell him to get out here.
Shikai.
Why are you here?
¡Ryuji Yaka! Como esos ataques tan débiles ni siquiera me harán daño.
There is no escape.
Simplemente no están a mi nivel. Ni siquiera tuve que usar el Bankai para atacar.
Oh, so are you also here to stop us?
Stay out of this. It's got nothing to do with you.
Bien, terminamos con eso. Shikai.
Be still.
Qué debiluchos eres. Ni siquiera tenía que usar el poder del Bankai. Debiluchos.
She's so strong.
Si es todo lo que tienen, ríndanse de una vez.
Enough fighting. We all know each other, and I don't want to take things too far. Just bring Kusela to me. There's no use hiding him anymore. Did you understand a single word I just said? Or do I need to bash your skull in some more?
All right, everyone, let's all just calm down for a second. Dia, he died.
What?
Oh,
Seems like you've been out of the loop
shit.
for a while. Guess that's for the best, though. At least, that's what the old man wanted.
When did he die? What happened to him?
A few years ago, Kusela broke up Dakan al-Ahmar and went to the Deshret's Relics headquarters by himself.
So is that when you guys started acting up?
We would prefer to call it taking revenge. Every last person in Deshret's Relics must pay in blood for what they did.
Así que al final se trata de un conflicto de ajuste de cuentas, ¿no?
Let me start from the beginning. Dia, do you know how the head of the Relics maintained order internally?
Overwhelming strength and unquestionable authority?
Those were a part of it, yes. But just those on their own weren't enough. They had another tool at their disposal. Regardless of whether they joined by their own will or were coerced, every person in Deshret's Relics were forced to leave a record of themselves at headquarters. Whether it be their deepest sin, some unforgivable act, or their most immoral exploit, the records served both as a symbol of loyalty and the perfect material for blackmail.
Así que él quería deshacerse de ese archivo.
That's precisely it. Every one of us have a record. Me, but you, Dia. You were never asked to provide a record.
I never even knew this was a requirement.
You were probably the only person in all of Deshret's Relics who didn't know about it.
Ever since you were born, Boss had been trying to shield you from this organization's sinister rules. Not only that, but he also banned all of us from committing any nefarious acts. He said he'd take care of the dues we had to pay. But in the end, he was just an ordinary person. What could he do? He was forced to go to headquarters again and again to account for missed dues and incomplete records. He'd come up with all kinds of excuses. And
We all knew he was doing that for you. He wanted to get you out of this world, no matter what it took.
And that's why he became a shell of himself and couldn't walk without a cane.
Wait, but that doesn't make any sense. I didn't know about any of this. And
Because you were too young at the time. How would you ever tell between wounds from a beating and wounds from battle? When you left home after that final argument with him, he seemed to age by a decade overnight. Even his hair was...
so even the blazing beasts were...
yep. It was all his doing. Had he not arranged them to come to you, you probably would have been reduced to a pulp before you ever left the desert.
A few years ago, Boss said he needed to make another trip to headquarters. He was already pretty weak then, and we all assumed he was going to get beaten again. I suggested that he hand the role of leadership over to me, but he said there was no longer any need. His words made no sense to me. But that night, we heard that a massive fire tore through headquarters and razed everyone's
Everyone gained their freedom that night. Many members fled, not just from our ranks, but from the other brigade. But how could we leave with a clear conscience? All of us who knew exactly what it...
The boss can't have just died for nothing. Those heartless jerks at headquarters took him from us.
From that point on, the sole purpose of Takan al-Ahmar became... The big fire that Boss started was quite a blow to headquarters strength. It's given us the even though we're outnumbered. We vowed to see our revenge through to the very end.
Pero también atacaron a personas inocentes.
There were people from headquarters who changed their names and went into hiding. Some fled to other brigades, and others escaped to the rainforest. But we won't let any of them escape our wrath. They'll all pay for what they've done.
We've suffered plenty of losses as well. To keep going, we need an enormous amount of supplies, from food and medicine to weaponry and explosives. All we can do is exchange our loot from Mora, and then use that to get supplies. We forged Boss's handwriting and sent out many letters to his former friends. Thankfully, we were also able to attract many mercenaries who shared our goal. We've endured unspeakable pain to win many. Deshret's relics have become weaker and weaker, and now we finally...
Paimon doesn't know what to say anymore.
Responder a la violencia con violencia no arreglará nada. Eso tienen que entenderlo.
We do know right from wrong, but we were sinners from the very beginning. We do not deserve the freedom that the boss won for us with his life. Boss always loved his old-fashioned hero stories. Those tales about... We used to always laugh at him for it. But in the end, as for me, I never considered myself a hero. We're all the... But maybe those hero stories he liked foreshadowed everything. Maybe we were all just acting along with the play in the beginning. But as we acted the parts... I'm sorry, Dia. I know you always found us insufferable ever since you were young.
Así que todo esto se trata del pasado.
Huh? Dia?
I grew up with these guys, and I know they're not bad people. It's just that some situations get so bad that it's difficult to tell good from evil. All I know is that Deshret's relics must be destroyed. Furthermore, I want to go see the place for myself. I want to know if my father is still there. I know you don't want to get involved in this, so there's no need for you to tag along. I can do this on my own.
Estaré contigo hasta el final, ¿entiendes? Es mi deber como guerrero y como salvador. He salvado 4 naciones. No huiré de esto.
Yeah. Paimon feels like we'd only regret it if we don't see this through to the end.
Thank you. We'll be a lot stronger together with you.
I bet Boss would lose his mind if he ever knew you'd join us at the very last moment like this.
Considering all the losses and injuries we sustained, we can't afford to turn down someone as powerful as you.
He can think whatever he wants. But the fact is...
Bien. Estamos llegando al meollo del asunto. Significa que se viene una pelea. Podría ser interesante por fin, ¿eh? ¿A dónde es? Es aquí. Es aquí, ¿no? Espérate, hay 2 puntos amarillos. Interesante. A ver, vamos a ver a los 2.
Opportunities to bask in...
A ver, quiero verificar. Porque hay 2 puntos entonces. Bueno, iré por aquí y avanzar hasta allá. Según esto, ese punto es otro. Bueno, después ver ese punto. Creo que lo mejor es ir a este primero. Bueno, después ir a ver ese TP que está ahí, ¿eh? ¡Mierda! Casi la cago ahí. Yo voy a ir por ese cofre, ¿eh? Ya que no es el momento, ¿eh? Esto sí lo quiero. Bueno, ustedes ya parecen más fuertes, así que lo haré pedazos. Como se debe. ¡Bankai! Shikai. ¿Dónde está? ¿Dónde está? Eres una basura.
All yours, should you have any use for them.
Bueno, 5 protos gratis. Nice. Y según esto está arriba, ¿verdad? ¿Qué lugar es este?
Should be.
Parece un templo muy antiguo.
Left to post guards and defend their perimeters.
Entremos. Uy, 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 me pide dentro, ¿ah? Me pide dentro. Bueno, vamos a cambiar y vamos a poner al Danker por si acaso. Bien, empecemos. ¡Hachimiose! ¿Eh? 500 protogemas. What the fuck?
Wow. Paimon didn't expect it to look like this on the inside.
Me llegó algo al... Bueno, me está diciendo que vuelva a mi antigua cuenta, bueno, mi otra cuenta, para tener 500 protogemas por volver. Lo pensaré.
They should all be holed up in here. Don't know how many people they've got left, though.
Who cares? We'll round up all of them.
Muy bien.
Still, we should be careful. Even if they've only got one shot left, it could still take us out.
Nada de lo que no haya enfrentado. He peleado contra dioses, dragones, chunchules, fatuis, etcétera, etcétera. Esto no me asusta.
Yeah, we'll know what they're really capable of once we've landed some hits on them. Deshret's relics may have been a force to be reckoned with before, but their name means nothing now.
Yeah, they don't stand a chance with you here. I'll take the lead. I've been here once before.
Bien, hay que tener cuidado. Uy, somos 5 personajes aquí. Tengo también a Delia, perfecto. No me hagan reír, insectos. Ok. Ryujin Yaka. Bankai. Finalmente unos que valen la pena, ¿eh? Lamento decirte que eres demasiado lento. Permítame. Fue fácil. ¿Quién sigue? Ah, ¿sigues tú? Eres una basura. Permítame. Ustedes no se rinden, ¿cierto? Bankai. 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 ¿Qué pasa? ¿No eres tan fuerte, no? Este es el verdadero poder de una waifu. ¿Sigue alguno? ¿O ya los vencí a todos? Oh, ya me estaba divirtiendo, weón. Por favor, que venga otro más. Quiero patear el trasero a otro más, por favor. Esto es muy extraño. ¡Es una trampa!
Hey, you guys okay?
It seems like we just got trapped in here. Don't think we triggered.
Watch out, the enemy's coming from ahead.
Oh no, prepárate.
Well, now that things have come to this,
Don't worry about us. We knew something like this could happen. Let's go. We can't let the boss.
Let's check if there's another way. The sooner we can make it through to help them.
Let's see. I think I see a way through over there, but it's being blocked by...
Okay, let's...
Ay, no, en serio, un puzzle. No mames. ¿Qué es esto? Vale. ¡Ay, no! Bankai. Burning Mode. Como quiero sacar a esta personaje en algún momento permanente. Estaba acá la Delia. Aunque cuando la consiga tendré que ponerle un apodo, eso seguro. Bien, un cofre.
Another mechanism like the one before, but this one's being blocked off in the middle.
We just need to adjust it a little.
Ah, ya entendí. Ya entendí la cuestión. Cambiar color. Subir. Bajar. Bien, ya entendí cómo va la cuestión. Sigamos. ¿Ahora qué? Que así sea. Bankai. Parece que con ustedes sí tendré que usar toda mi fuerza, ¿eh? ¡Se muere, mierda! Bankai. Ya dije, te muere, mierda. Debilucho. Vengan. Los haré pedazos. Bankai. Bankai, ya.
There is no escape. Illusion shattered.
Te voy a matar, maldito. Y vos te morís. Según esto tengo que seguir aquí. Ay, no, ¿es en serio? ¿Es en serio? No, 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 no. No, 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 weón. Bien, aquí tiene que ser el final. Aquí tiene que ser el último enemigo. Interesante. Parece que llegamos al corazón de este templo.
I wasn't expecting anyone to make it through from the other side. But as a
¿Y tú quién rayos eres?
I suppose we should be used to our folks defying all expectations.
Don't waste your breath. You have nowhere.
Run. Had I wanted to run, I would have fled 1,000 times already. I witnessed the golden age of Deshret's relics. Even if I could leave this place behind, even now, my brothers and I still believe in the greatest should never live to
So you want to go out in a blaze of glory?
Let us draw our weapons. They are but two, while we hold within ourselves.
Bien. Me tengo que asustar. Está bien. Lo siento, pero no tengo intención de intimidarme con sus poderes. Espero que ustedes sí me puedan mantener divertido un poco más. ¿Eso fue todo? Ok. ¡Modo explosivo!
Getting started.
Look alive! Ha!
Now you're testing my patience.
Bankai.
Torn to oblivion!
King Desperate will not abandon any one of his followers.
Teamwork is dreamwork! You asked for it!
Bankai. ¡Ay, no me congeló! ¡No!
There is no escape!
Ahora se mueren, culiados. Se mueren.
Where will prove our fate.
Bankai. Bankai.
Wanna die?
None of us plan to leave this place alive.
Terminemos con esto.
Where do you think you're going?
La me ha cagado, eh. Ya no queda nadie, ¿verdad? Uy, qué buena pelea, ¿eh? Esa sí estuvo buena.
The commander has finally fallen.
Bien, ¿queda alguno más?
But they're still coming at us! This place is like a gladiator's ring. They just keep coming no matter how many we beat!
Yes, keep fighting. There's no need to fear, and no need to back down.
When the next wave comes, try to draw away their attacks. I'm going to see if I can take out that high platform.
De acuerdo, será sencillo.
Get out of my way!
Come and face me, Michel. So they've broken through the front as well.
Apologies, Lord Michel. They fight like absolute...
So,
Time to pay for everything you've done, Michel.
you think I would give you that opportunity? I will be buried in the sand alongside all the rest of our fading glory.
¿Qué va a hacer?
Hey, wait!
No me digas que va... ¿Va a derribar el templo?
We were too late.
It's over. There's no more need to fight. But if you're still going to cling on to your so-called mercenary's pride...
Hey, Dia! I found the mechanism. I'll get you all back up here right away.
Muy bien, hay que avanzar. Ahí está el mecanismo. Bien.
Let's go.
¡En marcha! What? Ok. Eso fue medio fail, pero... Bueno, no importa. 10 plotitos, me gusta. ¿Y ahora cómo chucha subo? ¿Dónde la weá? Ahí está. Bien, dime que esto ya es todo.
Who are you filthy rats? And why are you always pestering us?
You call yourself a member of the infamous Deshret's relics?
Who knows what intent a bunch of rats may have? We try to catch a couple, and you all just show up on the other side. Hey, have you ever heard of a man by the name of Kusela? Why would I know? It's not like I'm in charge or anything.
This is your last chance to...
Hey, I said I don't know it. If you're here to find someone, why don't you look through the records yourselves? Who can remember every name and face with so many...
The irony. His life became a light for so many, yet to others... Where's the records room?
It's right over there. All the files are in there. You can go through them as much as you want.
I mean the old records room.
The old records room? Kusela. Ah, watch your mouth. That's our boss you're talking about. He was definitely faking it. We all let our guard down as soon as we saw him come hobbling in. But in the short time it supposedly took him to take a dump, he'd already gotten away and started he couldn't have possibly outrun us if he wasn't a frog. And after that,
Stop wasting our time. Every one of us here is perfectly aware of what he... Tell me, where is the...
It's just over there. Go see if... There's nothing left in there but ashes. No Bashar, Tikriti, let's go. We'll spare them no mercy.
Esto tiene que ser lo último que queda de esto.
So, this was his final destination. How did he do it? Getting past all the guards with a limp and sneaking in. If he was nimble enough to do that, then he must have been able to get out of here.
Tia.
I'm sorry. I know it's just wishful thinking.
Is this a cane? It must be the one that Diaz
Kusela.
Thanks for everything, boss.
We're fortunate to somehow find that cane after that fire.
Let's split up and look around some more.
But what else could survive a fire like that?
Huh?
Mm-hmm. Una espada.
Thought so.
Wait! Isn't that the toy sword you played with as a child?
The dragon is no more, for Princess Dia has slain it. Its head now hangs above the city gates. Her bravery has brought eternal peace and prosperity to us all. Dia, come on. This is the most important line.
You can do it.
But Dia, you defeated the dragon. Everyone's waiting for your speech. Still too shy, huh? All right, I'll do it. I hereby proclaim our victory. Evil shall plague us no more.
I hereby proclaim our victory. Evil shall plague us no more, Dad.
¿Habrá sido todo?
What's this?
Bueno, hicimos algo de comer.
Don't you remember? You asked Paimon what she would do if she were to wake up tomorrow with loads of money. And Paimon said that she would get boatloads of tasty snacks. You looked super confused at the time, but said it was an adorable thing to say. These opportunities don't come by often. So today, Paimon's gonna treat you to a special crash course on Paimon's life philosophy. Hey, come on! Paimon's not that stingy.
Siempre lo ha sido.
Anyway, the point is that you should eat to your heart's content. You'll feel better for sure once you've gotten something in your tummy. Dunyarzad will also be here shortly. She's already heard that we're back.
Aw, thanks, you two. Honestly, this is very unlike me. My chest was filled with all kinds of intense emotion, but when everything came to an end, those emotions also, it was as if I'd lost the thing that was most important to me.
Todo fue muy rápido. Solo Toma tu tiempo para asimilarlo.
Yeah, you're right. To many mercenaries, Mora is the most important thing in the... Idrisi and the others all used to say that they would quit if there was no Mora to be had. But when it came to avenging my father, there was no Mora to be made anywhere. My reality shattered when I found out that the father who always told me hero stories was in fact a bad guy. Despite all my promises about never forgiving him and never trying to understand him, I still went. We're hypocrites. All of us.
No pongas en duda lo que sientes.
Yeah, you're right. It's just a pity that we often only recognize our true feelings after.
You're back! Are all of you alright?
Pasaron muchas cosas, ¿sabes?
Ah, there she is.
Yeah. Many people from the Corps of 30 came over, and I just wrapped up everything with my dad. Huh? Do you...
Paimon will explain. A lot happened while we were gone.
I'm sorry.
It's all right, my lady. You were hurt by all of this as well.
Dia, your pain must be...
Hey, don't worry about me. If anything, my father probably thought that people could settle into new lives, as that thought has even crossed my mind a few times. However, there was always something deep within my mind that but now that I consider it again, it all makes sense. The desert sands are a part of who...
I understand.
That doesn't mean I won't be making any changes to my life, though. As an example, it's just like Idrisi said. I also want to catch up to my father, even if the ending of the story may be childish and ridiculous.
Isn't that neat, though? Oh, you'll be a whole new kind of mercenary, one that's not out for Mora. Why don't we go for a change of scenery once we finish eating?
Right. You said you wanted to get a rug for your family.
We'll come along too.
Bien. Nos vendrá bien un cambio de aires.
I can't thank you enough for taking care of me this entire time.
De nada, no te preocupes. Ya, con esto debería terminar la historia ya. Vamos a dar el fin a esto ya. Creo que está para acá. Tendría que estar por aquí, si no me equivoco. Vamos por acá, 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 por acá. Y ya está. Con esto deberíamos terminar, por favor.
Oh, this rug here is quite something. The craftsman...
Ah, here you are. Finally, I found you.
Hey! Aren't you that mercenary who bit his Wait, are you here to take revenge?
What are you talking about? Do I look like I could take you all in a fight? I just came here to give you something. Once I woke up, I hurried to the Khan al-Ahmar's camp, hoping to alert them to your presence. But when I got there, I found no one except the members who were still...
So you probably got there after us.
Yeah, they told me that they had exacted their revenge, and everyone had turned themselves in to the authorities. I had joined the cause to repay an old favor from Kusela. Now that everyone's already turned themselves in, one of the injured members gave his box to me and told me that...
Se escucha bastante chistoso ahora que hizo esa cuestión de la lengua, ¿eh?
Everything left in the camp will get confiscated.
Thank you.
No worries. We are all just living our own truths. There's no need to comment or...
So this box contains everything that Dia's father left.
Well, back in the day, the first thing he... But what's this? It's just a bunch of junk. Perhaps? A handwritten copy of a storybook. The paper's already yellowed, and it looks like it's about to fall apart. It was against the Academia's rules to possess books for personal use.
That probably means this was really important.
And here are a few bags of children's snacks. The packaging's completely...
Did he get those for...
Yeah, but here's the thing, though. Even when I was a child, I was never a fan of the... Who even leaves snacks in a box like this? Forget it. Let me see what else is in here. A razor, some buttons, some round... A wool scarf, which, from the looks of it, probably belonged... I'm sorry, my lady, but this is just the kind of man he was. 2 empty liquor bottles, Tell me, you guys, are these the kinds of things
Qué
that a
persona tan
normal person...
interesante.
Huh? There's
Oh, you're... All right, I got it out. It seems to be a piece of paper with some writing on it. The bottom part's all damaged from moisture, though. Let's hope the writing... I was suddenly seized with an urge to write a letter after finishing this bottle. I just folded it up and left it in the bottle, though. To Dia. It's a letter for me?
Puedes leerla sola si quieres.
It's all right. I'll just read it out. If you went to the trouble of...
My condition's becoming worse and worse. Can't even walk without a cane anymore, much less go out and have fun. If you're reading this letter, then I suppose I'm already long gone. You were adorable as a baby. Everyone loved you. And regardless of whether you were crying or laughing, but once you grew a bit older, you were no longer nearly as happy or cute.
Can you believe this guy?
Anyway, back to the point. To summarize, I'm writing this, the reason being that...
Wait, what?
¿Qué?
Surely,
I don't know.
I was quite formidable when I was young, and 100 times really felt like the whole world was under my feet. With just a teeny tiny...
¿Quién será su verdadero padre?
Fate would have it, I went out into the desert for a drink one day, and you were just lying there, small and helpless. But your cries were so loud they made my head hurt. Now that I think of it, you...
Sounds...
I told Idrisi and the others that I had slipped up with a woman while out and about. None of them even doubted me. I'm sorry that I had to lie to them for so long, but I really had no other choice. I was their most esteemed leader, after all. It's not like I could just tell them that I suddenly wanted to play at being a father. At this rate, I'll puke up all the liquor. Anyway, you possess the kind of freedom and kindness that we could only dream of. As far as how you should live your life, that'll be up to you to decide.
That's... In the end, he was still... I
Eso no
suppose.
es algo malo.
Or I would have suffocated under...
he was a good father to you.
Yeah. It's just a...
Do you already have some ideas about the decision that he...
I do. If he first found me alone, I just have one wish. That there once existed a childish and foolish jerk, and that only under his care was I able to grow and mature into the person I...
If you end up finding any leads, can you share them with us? We go on adventures all the time. Maybe...
Sure, I appreciate it. I wasn't expecting you to be so enthusiastic.
Que esto no te detenga, ¿de acuerdo?
I'll help too.
Thank you. All of you. My life has certainly had its twists and turns, but because no matter where I've gone, I've always been surrounded by incredible kindness.
¡Wow! Terminamos la historia. Muy buena. Para hacer de los últimos capítulos de la temporada, creo que elegí muy bien estos últimos 4 caps. El de... Obviamente ya tengo decidido cómo va yendo el orden a medida que lo voy haciendo, pero... ¡Wow! Está muy increíble esta historia. Y ya mañana tocaría la de Baisu. Y ya estamos en las rectas finales de la segunda temporada para pasar a la tercera, que es de Fontaine, ¿no? Así que cuidado con todo lo que se puede venir. Ya mañana haremos la de Baisu. Veremos si puedo contar con Ceritox para hacerlo un poquito más cómico y darle más vaina. Y la última que tocaría grabar sería la de Yoimiya. Voy a ver en qué orden las ordeno las 4, dependiendo de la importancia que tenga cada una. Y lo van a ver dependiendo del orden que haya decidido poner cada una. Así que lo vamos a dejar hasta aquí. Espero que les haya gustado este video. Sé que quedó muy largo, pero hice la misión completa. Así que con esto podrán ver todo lo que pasó. Y bueno, espero que les haya gustado el video. Si por eso me gusta, la suscripción, todo lo que quieran. Y esto va a ir directamente a la lista de reproducción y bla bla bla. Nos vemos. Adiós. Gracias por ver. Bye bye.